All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I forgot to tell y'all a few little details on the continuing saga. Um, as I look back, and I'm glad that I have some help, because there's things that you can remember in your notes, and there's things that um, if you happen to have a retain attorney or two, that they also take meticulous. They're supposed to take meticulous notes. Uh, and I just kind of was looking at a lot of the sequencing, um, and I noticed that it seems like uh, that for some particular reason, the uh, the opposite party, so the party that was trying to still uh, claim uh, benefits to be able to still maintain a a support order, that they seem to get a lot of anything questionable. Just they would go with the flow with that side of that family, and it was really noticeable when you have a hearing, and the hearing is set up to where the finality of the IWO, income withholding order, was going to be stopped, and that was, let's just go, I guess, a little bit out of sequence, but at the end, that's what the whole judge order was for, is to end. Now, before that has to go out, both parties have to uh, receive notification to come into the court to be able to uh, state your claim. Um, and we just noticed that, as they even gave the other party another extra 15 minutes to make it to the court, which they never did. So therefore, the court made its decision. The judge made his decision, um, had everything signed, and now that was as of the 9th. And so it's a done deal when the magistrate signs the paperwork. Um, but lo and behold, this is the kind of things that go all together with the totality of the case. The curious, you could say, the curious misfortunes of Triple that happened to pile on him, that just seem odd, because the magistrate finished the order, finished it. But then, now there's supposed to be, that's supposed to go right back to the friend of the court office. They sign off, and then it goes that order. Now that's a income withholding order to stop, IWO, to stop that any kind of payment is coming directly, for that order. So in other words, if it's being, um, garnished out of your check, then it's supposed to stop. And so we gave it the first week we gave it, and for some reason the receptionist and then the actual caseworker kept claiming that they knew nothing about it, that the judge, they didn't see anything signed by the judge, and that, now I've told you that the where the friend of the court building is, and the actual where the actual court is just right across the street. Literally, you can walk and you're there within 1 minute. And so they're playing like pass the potato, and claiming that the judge never, signed anything. All right, so we found that odd. So then we, not me, the attorney says, okay, now this is silly. It's 7 days. It's done. So I'm going to go over to the county and I'm going to check and see what the heck is exactly going on. Why is it not moving forward? Well, they come back. Now get this. They come back with a little they call snafu that says, we are waiting on the response of the other party, giving them 7 days to respond. And after then, which it was a seventh day, then we can move forward. Now you figure that was from the 9th going to the 16th. So here we are, like, okay, hold on a minute. That was the purpose of the show cause. That was the purpose of them closing out the case, because if they had any objections, or if she had a lawyer to do any kind of objection, then that's what that was for. But now they gave the other party two chances. One to, first of all, she failed to appear in court, and now they reward her with giving her 7 more extra days to file a rebuttal. Now, mind you, that it was silly in the first place, because the monetary funds were not going to her. So whether the other party wanted to say, okay, we can stop this or not, the monies at this point in the game were not going to her anyway. They're going to the county itself. They're going to the county. So it really didn't behoove her to act on it. But again, so since it was going to the county, now you can understand the crookedness of that whole deal. The county was holding the money, has always been holding that money. And so then you got to ask yourself, where directly is that cheese going to? Where is that cheddar going to? You get what I'm saying? So now that was as of the 16th. So lawyers there and says, okay, well, even if you do go by that, you are outside of the parameters of the law, but okay, so I expect that this IWO is sent over to his employer, and this is done. Now, that was as of the 16th. So a couple days later, I call and talk to the caseworker, and do you know what she said? She said, there's never been any record that you show any attorney, that you have an attorney or any attorneys spoke on your behalf. And I said, well, wow, really, huh? I said, not only do I have one attorney, but I have two. So you mean to tell me that this attorney and that attorney that sat in your office, that paperwork is given to, it's given to the attorneys and it's given to myself, and you're claiming that no one has contacted you? And they stuck to that story. So now you are figuring that story, right, started from the 9th going to the 16th, going into that following Monday, and this is what they're claiming. Now, they gave me that spiel all the end of that week. Then going into the next week, still claiming that, and it took both attorneys to go back to the county again, and they gave them the runaround up until the point that they got to a point where more supposed searches took place, and then they found out, oh, well, yeah, we see that the time has elapsed, and now we'll go ahead and initiate the said paperwork. Now, interesting, because remember I have told you that Berry County uses one magistrate to work with the friend of the court. And so they run behind, and a lot of times they share courtrooms. Now, I had already got one part of this order done. Now, I was waiting on the second part to be complete. And so today is Friday. And we are looking for today, as I am at an actual site myself until 3 o'clock. Um, we're looking for that to be done. Now, as you notice, the part that came through Kalamazoo County, um, they are again. I seem to, in the bigger areas, in the bigger counties, they seem to be, I'm going to say, in Kalamazoo County, and I'm going to say in Ingham County, they seem to be fair on what they do. They seem to be honest in dealing out with with the laws and rules and codes and statutes. I can honestly say that they seem to follow, if you look up any code, they seem to follow it to a T. I have not ran into any bumps in the road with these people. They have been cordial. They can only guide you. They cannot answer questions if you call up. Everyone knows this little trick that, they're not going to give you legal advice, because that's not their job. It's your attorney's job to give you legal advice. But they can, at least they can be cordial about how they're handling you. And I can say that dealing with Kalamazoo County, and I can say dealing with Ingham County, always been fair, always been cordial, never an attitude. Whereas, on the other hand, where you have heaven, now you also have hell. And hell would be Berry County, Hastings, Michigan. That is where certain people that look certain ways and that are prejudged from get-go, they are treated like bald-headed. Well, I guess I am bald-headed stepchildren. I'm not a stepchild. I have original mother, original father, and that doesn't matter anyway. So I've always had this, problem that has happened, with this. Always seem to have a problem dealing with the Berry County, um, and it doesn't flow. It doesn't flow right, and it just goes to outright corruption. I would say that this is corruption at a higher level, and so that's why um, many different avenues and techniques are being um, basically experimented with and used with, because, to be quite frank, even my attorneys their eyes are open to a new level, because they have not seen a court act this way or behave this way. So now that you have that drop, let's listen to that. Let's think about what happened at the beginning. So at the beginning, they judge me. So of course they're going to judge me because I have the facial tattoos, which is a tribal thing that I've had for a long, long time. And they straight out just, are judging on that. And remember, I told you also that they judge me upon the records of one of my oldest son, where he, under his playing games so that he wouldn't go to jail, he would try to use my name when he was a little bit younger, and get me involved in his stuff so that it would cover him. And the old I'm dad, we're the same name, and so you understand where that goes. So although I'm, highly frustrated at what he did, you know, um, it doesn't excuse him one bit. But needless to say, when they were going through the records, they were mad, number one, that I was coming up there with attorneys. I was coming from a larger county, and that when I told them that all of these so-called charges that you have against me from that, okay, we had to break it down to him line by line, step by step, that how is it that he could do this crime? How is it that you have a 50-year-old man and he's got charged with last year a MIP? How could he have a minor in possession? So it started with simple things like that, where they're like, oh, okay, that can't be. Oh, okay, how is it that he could have these multiple drug charges where it says that he is incarcerated and currently incarcerated, but yet he pulled a Houdini and he's sitting here talking to you at the same time? Now, if that's the case, then why isn't there a team of SWAT team that's here to say that there was a jailbreak, that there was a prison break, and that you have a escaped felon that's in your building, and now why aren't you taking me into custody? Now, this went on for a lengthy discussion. Not only that, but it also went into the what I call the unfair roundtable. And that's where all of those names, that's just a few of them, that surround you and judge you. Basically, they go through fine comb. They sniff your drawers. Uh, piss test you. They double check your verification, making sure that you're working. And they kept coming to me, see, and they were thinking that when I would talk, they thought that I was gonna come at them, yo, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so why y'all mess with me, motherfuckers? Like I'm just gonna sit there and talk ignorant. Now I know how to talk, how I want to talk. I know how to present myself if I need to present myself within the silly confines and constructs that are put in front of me. So, in other words, they were expected to see and hear me be ignorant. And that's what they were banking on. And it threw them even more the fuck off when that I would eloquently speak and not worry about anything. And so that threw them off, and it also pissed them off. And so after that roundtable, the discussion to me turned friendly, and they were like, well, how do you see things moving forward? And I gave my opinion, and there was a lot of head nodding, and everybody seemed cordial. And oh, here's my business card, and I am the team leader, and I'm in charge of all this, and here's a list of names of good contacts, and out you go. So I'm leaving, and they're trying to sweet talk me, to giving me the Sweet Waters donut and giving me the nice double espresso to go. No questions asked. So quite naturally, now when we had to go to the first court case in front of Judge Doherty, then at that point we're sitting there, like, okay, we've already discussed and established that all of these so-called charges were all by a younger version of me, which is my son. It was not me. Never have I, like I said, never have I had a felony. Never have I had the misdemeanor. None of that stuff. And it was established. But somehow, when Judge Doherty, gets the paperwork in front of him from the friend of the court, who the friend of the court got all the information to begin with from the other party, that the other party was already in jail. So in other words, they're listening to someone from their county, but they're in jail, and they took their word over mine. Now remember that I was brought in late into the game in the first place because they claim like they didn't know where I am, but yet they had the audacity to take monies out of my check, knowing my address and knowing where to get my check for a long period of time. And then come back with the excuse that, one court can't talk to the other. You have to have permission to do that. Okay, but yet you found a way to get in contact with me at the very last minute because legally that somehow you had to make contact with me or nothing would proceed. And that's where they sneakily went on my, at the time, my wife had a page, and they found her, and then they used her to try to contact me, which I didn't know who the hell this person was, and then I had to look it up and find out who this you know prosecutor was for this case. So it was a strange deal all over, but yet it was very mysterious that the fact that the judge is sitting there reading just a two-page listing of all of the crimes that I have committed. And he's starting out with all this on February 1st of 19 of 2005, you commit blah blah, and all over and over and over all these charges. And my lawyer let him speak. And then it's like, Your Honor, it's already been established that my client has already proven to the court that that's not him. And therefore, also, you should see that that person that you're talking about is incarcerated, yet Mr. Johnson is sitting here. He's sitting here in court. He's here. He's appeared. And he kind of like looked at the paperwork again. You know how it is. Like he's gonna find a magic key, and he never found it. And he's like, okay, well, yeah, we'll go ahead and take care of that. So let's move on to the next phase. But again, even throughout the whole deal, even when that part was supposed to be dropped, I still got all of the negativity. I got all of the looks like they're looking down upon me, judging me upon things that I never did, knowing that I would come down to that area and I would have all my children with me. And like, okay, y'all got a problem with me, but all these other counties never had a problem with me, and I have all these children that are in my custody. Don't you know that someone that has a record, or someone that is known to have any kind of problems, that there's going to be patterns? And do you see a pattern here? I have all my children. I have them all. So why is it that you're believing the word of a felon that's currently incarcerated over me? Oh, it's because I look a certain way. Oh, it's because y'all still are prejudging me. Oh, it's because you think that I'm better than you because I come from a bigger county, and that county looks at you guys like some backwards nobodies. And so you think that that's the way I think about you. No, it's just because it's the truth on how you guys act. And so that's where it started to get majorly ugly, because of the fact that they then took it, I think the judge took it to a personal level to be able to try to destroy me in one way, shape, or form, and up to and including pulling me over twice in the same day, and harassing. So um, it's been a nightmare. You know, it's a good thing that I do have backing, because you can get to the point where enough is enough, and people have thresholds. And quite frankly, if this would have happened to me while I was in my 20s, and this probably would have been a case of, if I would have known you, it would have been a case of, can somebody send me cigarettes because I did something? Uh-oh. Yeah. Uh-oh. I did a uh-oh. Because probably the emotions would have kicked in, and I would have been in some serious trouble, because of the fact that I was backed into a corner, made to lose children for no reason, let's just say, trying to get me to that point. And to me, that's enough to fight for. If somebody is attacking or trying to take away your children, it's just like a kidnapper. Kidnappers coming after your children, then you have every right to fight and defend for your child, for your children. And that's exactly the mode that I would have been in. I would have been into self preservation mode to protect my children. And so now, I mean, even even to the point where when it was time for decisions to be made, so the other party would have all day to make a decision, uninterrupted. When it came to me and my lawyers going to a little room to discuss what we are going to, our strategies, there would be 2 or 3 knocks. The judge is ready for the decision. Now, we didn't just got in there 2 minutes ago. My attorney opened the door. We're not done yet. Second time, same thing. Third time, the judge is ready to move now because he's got to go to lunch. Now, this was one of the first times that my attorney is looking like, what? So you're rushing us? You are not giving us fair and ample time that you give fair and ample time to the other party? And so, I mean, these are the little subtle, really not so subtle things that would go on that would show the outright fraud of what they were doing. Not to mention the rolling of the eyes. Not to mention that if I would call, they would hang up on me. Just, treating somebody like total and utter trash. So, all of these things piled up into one neat, nice bow. And now today is another Friday. I always tell my wife now it's like Friday, Monday, because nothing gets done on Friday and you're waiting for the Monday to come through and you still nothing's happening. So now we're waiting on Friday to see what's going on. Should be getting some updates a little bit later on. Again, I'm kind of stuck where on a location. It happens to be on a rotation that I'm having to work straight days. So, it kind of is what it is. So, I will keep you informed, family.